What is up, guys? Welcome back to another part in our tag mixer series. I'm actually really excited about building this plugin, and in today's video we're going to jump right into it. We're working on last time we just created this using my little software I built for creating plugins, and we just have a couple of pages, tag mixer general settings and packages, and we're going to focus on the general settings for now. We're actually going to set this page up, and because I'm going to be trying to put this into the WordPress org repository, I'm going to try to make this page look a little better than just like, you know, slapping something together like we do with our WordPress one. I actually want it to be presentable so that it actually looks like we put effort into it. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to go ahead and create a couple things in this video. We're going to just do some really fun Bootstrap stuff, and we're going to create a master switch on turning on and off the whole thing so that in the footer, when we hook the footer, it will first check if the master switch is enabled, and then it'll do everything else. And I'll show you guys how to do that. It's kind of a cool little workaround way. So back in our Visual Studio Code, the first thing we need to do is we actually need to head into the includes folder and then just to the name of the class. And down in the defining the admin hooks right here, where this was created by my program, we're going to go ahead and we're going to say register some custom settings for the tag mixer general settings page. Perfect. This is going to be really easy. So we're going to say, same thing as above. We're going to go ahead and just steal this line, be lazy about it. And we're not going to do admin menu. We're actually going to do admin initialization. And then we're going to say plugin admin, that's fine. And we're going to start a new one, and we're going to call this register tag mixer general settings. And now we have that figured out. So it's going to go ahead and run that when the plugin initializes. We need to take this function, and then we need to jump over to our admin, since that's what it's calling, and the class tag mixer admin. Down at the bottom, past our functions that are handling the partials callbacks, we need to create another function, paste the one we just grabbed, open it up, and we're ready to do some general settings. Easy enough. And then, as you recall, it's really simple in here. We just say register. If it doesn't delete it, we just say register a setting. And let's go ahead and delete all this garbage. I'm just kidding. And what we need to do is, in the first one, we need to tell it what it is as far as in our database, and then we need to tell it what field it's going to be coming from. So in this one, we're going to say tag mixers gen set. So this is like our general settings. I'm just kind of naming this stuff real time. And then we're going to say like something like tag mix master switch. So now we have a general settings that we just created real quick. We went ahead and added the admin, and then in the admin, or we added the admin in it from our plugin admin, and we just created a name. And then in here, we're registering tag mixer master switch. So now we're ready to build a page that has a master switch on it. And in our partials of our admin side, we have our display. We want to go to our gen set page. If you guys remember, that's what our general settings is. So here we are. We're ready to create some like kind of cool general settings page. Well, a couple things first. I want to call in a few things this time to be a little prettier. Starting with, I think I'm going to go with, I want Bootstrap in this page only. So I don't know if you guys recall, I had a subscriber ask me about this like way back in earlier videos and said, hey, you should show people how to do it in the page itself versus site-wide, because that way it doesn't mess with the rest of your plugins and themes and all that, which is true. So back here on Bootstrap, we're just going to go to the Get Started section, and then it's going to have the CSS call to their distribution, to their CDN distribution. That's what we're going to grab. We're just going to go ahead and put it right there. Also, need to word wrap this page. So now we're going to call in Bootstrap, and we're calling in the CSS. Let's go ahead and call in the JS. All right, we now have Bootstrap. Easy as that. We have it in the top of the page right here. I also want to gather another thing, which is, we haven't used this in any prior videos. We're going to go ahead and do it now. We're going to use Google Fonts, and I'm just going to grab one. I think I was using Oswald last time. Yeah, I like Oswald quite a bit. So we're just going to run Oswald, and we're going to use medium 500. So hit select this style, and then right here it gives you the import information. We can just go ahead and copy all this information right here. And then right here it shows you how to use the CSS rule to apply it to something. So this calls in a custom font from Google for us. That's perfect. That's what we need. And now we're importing a font and we're importing CSS, Bootstrap. And then another thing we're going to need is we're going to need jQuery. And this is a jQuery CDN. All I did was type in jQuery CDN on Google, and it brought me to right here. We want the minified version. There it is right there. Copy the script, put it right here. Now we're calling in jQuery. And then there's one last thing I want to get, which is something specific. I'll put a link in the description for this. We're going to use a specific, something I actually found just for this tutorial, which is awesome. Right here, this is a GitHub. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the description. This is somebody who built a really nice Bootstrap set of on-off toggle switches. We're going to actually be using this for our series, for our master on-off switch. And so in order to do that, they actually created a CDN of their Bootstrap toggle right here, which is perfect. We're going to go ahead and take that and put it right here. And now we're calling in all the resources I want to call in. This contains Bootstrap, jQuery, those toggle buttons, and a Google font. So now we have some stuff where we can really make this page look good. Okay, so the way we're going to start that is I already know that the master switch is something that we're going to be calling to determine if it's on or off, and we're going to edit our page based on that information. I probably won't write that first. I'll probably come back and write that function. And I'll show you why. But what we're going to do is first we're just going to go ahead and open up an H1. So we're just going to run emmet for that. And then let's just say tag mixer general settings. And then since we have a Google font, let's go ahead and put a style on it. We're just going to do inline for this. And Google gave us, over here on the side, Google gave us the code. So we can paste that in right there. Now we're using the Oswald font from Google. And so if we go back and we take a look at that, and we refresh this page, this is our general settings. Look at that. We now have a little better looking font. And Google has tons and tons and tons and tons of fonts. You can grab whatever you want. Underneath that, I'm going to go ahead and run another horizontal rule because I like to break up pages like that. And then we're going to go ahead and open another paragraph tag. And I don't think I'm going to go for a class. Maybe I will go for a class. I'm going to go for alert. This is a alert. And then it wouldn't let me put a space in it, so I had to do it like this. Alert secondary. This is a color scheme from Bootstrap. You can go look at their alerts page. I've gone there a million times on video to show where I get this from. And then in the paragraph, we're actually going to go ahead and do an inline style, which is going to override some of the base class stuff. I always want it to be the same font as that new Google font we got. And then also, I want to change its font size. I think I want to make it like a 20 or 25 pixels. So we're going to say font size, and then let's go for like 24 pixels. And then the color, I want this to be black, because by default, when you do Bootstrap with this alert secondary, it's not black. So I want to go 0, 0, 0. And then inside, I want to write like, I'll probably fast forward this part, by the way. Okay, guys, so I just finished typing this out. Here's what it looks like in the browser. So it already looks decent. And here's what I did. It allows you to control page level based on their features, on incoming queries, which can be either, and I may have some misspellings in here, I really don't care. I'm just trying to get to the point where you guys can actually see it, but I might go ahead and change that. B at least. Either get or post, activate this plugin, select the master switch, make sure it's on, and you have one package set. I want you to click here. Okay, so the click here in this plugin is going to be kind of new because we're going to do some insight documentation where the user can actually click through, and it's going to be a hidden page that's not on our menu, that's documentation for this plugin. So that's going to be kind of cool, and you'll see us write that together. All right, so after this headline here, we're going to go ahead and open a, let's see, let's break it a few times, give ourselves some space, and then let's go ahead and do a Jumbotron. I think that that's going to be best. And we can do this quicker by going to Bootstrap and getting it. Right here at Bootstrap, they have their Jumbotron. I'm just going to go ahead and grab this, this code right here. And let's paste it in. Now we have a Jumbotron. Perfect. So in our Jumbotron, I wanted to do, let's see, I don't know if I want to do a fluid one. I'm trying to determine if I want to do a fluid one. Yeah, I'm going to do a fluid one. So let's just paste this in. Now we have a fluid Jumbotron. All right, and what I'm probably going to do is go ahead and fast forward this part as well because I have some styles I need to add to this and everything, and when I type stuff into it, it's going to be a little slow. But essentially, we have a fluid Jumbotron, and what I would like to do with my Jumbotron is I'm going to go ahead and say the style of it. I don't want it to be wider than as wide as the whole page. Right now it's as wide as the whole page. So I'm going to say width is 60%. And I'm going to align all the text to the center of this. And then I'm going to say, that's probably good actually on that. And then I have another thing we're going to do with this, which is we're going to be adding an alert to it. Like right now, we're going to say alert. Let's just say alert danger, and I'll show you why we're doing that. If we go back out to the browser and we take a look, it's going to give us a red Jumbotron right here. And it's basically, this, I'll show you why we're doing this, because when the plugin's off, we want this to be red, and when the plugin's on, we want it to be green. And we're going to set that up real quick. We don't have much longer before this thing's already functional. All right. We're going to go ahead and set up inside our container, or inside our display here, we have an H1 that says display for food Jumbotron. We're going to go ahead and mess with this. We're going to do another inline style on this. And we're going to say, we want the color of it to be black. Remember, I told you that this is an issue with a Bootstrap. It always tries to make stuff like light gray. And that's all we're really going to do with its style. And then we're just going to say the master switch. And you could change this to the font as well, or pick a different font from Google or whatever. I'm just going to leave it the base one that comes with the Jumbotron. And then, let's see, we have a P class here, which is our lead class. I don't think I want it to be a lead type class. Instead, I'm just going to do some more inline styling on this. And I'll probably skip some of these slower parts where I'm writing out the styling. We'll see. So in this one, we also want the color to be black. I don't want that gray. I want to override it. And then I want to make this font size like 26 pixels or so. I don't want it to be so little. Perfect. Now let's type some stuff in here. The reason why I'm saying tag mixer stand-in is because we're actually going to make this an if statement based on if the tag mixer is on or off. It's going to change what's displayed right here. And so for the moment, that's okay. After the p tag, however, we want to add a form, because remember, that's how we save information to the WordPress database. We have to set it to the options PHP for where it saves options, and the method has to be post. I hope you remember this from earlier courses. That's the only way we can save data. And this is going to be an extremely simple form. It's only going to have one input field, and that input field is going to be a call-in. It's going to be, and we can actually, let's just go grab this from the that one spot. Let's see. This place here has all of the code you could want for every single type that he has in his site. And I think we're going to go ahead and grab this one here as this example. So let's go ahead and grab this. Let's bring it back and put it as our input form. And now we're using one of his custom checkboxes, because remember, we're calling in his information from right here. So we can use it, and it's a type checkbox, data on, but we need to give it a name, remember, because we're saving this as our options field. Remember the name back in our admin, we called it the tag master switch. We just did that at the beginning. Name, tag master. So now it's going to be saved when it's saved into our database. And then we have to have let's have a couple of breaks actually. And then we need to have a submit button. So we need to say input type. We need to say submit. So now we have a submit button for this, and we need to say style. I'm going to go ahead and do some inline styling because I already know the font's too small. I'm going to make this one 28 pixels or so. And then we're going to give it a class. These are just Bootstrap classes. You can go look it up on their buttons. Button success. That's going to make it green. And then the value is going to be save changes. And that's going to go ahead and end our form. Pretty simple, right? Everything's pretty easy at this point. There's only one thing I want to do, which is I want to center this entire Jumbotron. And I could do this with properly with margins, 0, automatic, whatever. I'm just going to use the old school method and center it. All right, and then at the very bottom, the last thing before we end our file here is we're going to have our master switch JS, which comes from our JavaScript, which comes from this toggle down below. He actually gives you the JavaScript on how to use it. Here is the JavaScript. So he says right here is how it's this one right here. I want this code right here. I want this script. Good. All right, so now we have a change, and it's going to toggle and say this is prepped or whatever. We don't need to do any of that in the console, particularly with this. All we need to do is just actually what we're going to do is we're going to make this submit. This form is going to submit when 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 the box is, or actually never mind, when the button's checked and everything. We actually don't even know if I need this event on second thought. I actually don't think I do. I'm going to go ahead and remove that JS. So back in our page here, if we go ahead and refresh, you're going to see everything's going to center. It's going to be red, and it's going to have some different stuff. Look at this. Perfect. Now, as of right now, nothing's happening with it, okay? And actually, I want the button to say something different. Let's see. It says data on. It's going to say ready. Let's put this to party time. And data off, not ready. Not party time. Perfect. Now if we go back to the front and we refresh one more time, things are going to look much better. Oh yeah. Party time, not party time. And also I want party time to be with a break. All the little fine details is what makes plugins great. Party time and not party time. Perfect. So when it sets to party time and then we save it, it's going to save this option already because we already set it all up to get to here. So if we put in party time and then we hit save changes, it's going to save. Oh, you know what I forgot to do in our form? We needed to add those PHP calls, the settings fields calls. I forgot about that. And actually, we need to open PHP tags for this. Let's see, I actually forgot to do this. Okay. Remember, WordPress requires this in order to know your settings field, and the settings field we're using is in fact the name of the settings field we just set. You guys should know all this from our previous stuff. And then do settings and sections. And then it wants this as well. These are built-in WordPress calls to do this stuff for us. All right, we should have a much better, this should work much better now. So we should be able to refresh this page. I just spelled it DP, didn't I? Yep. Man, keyboard differences when you're used to ergonomics. All right, so party time, not party time. So we're going to say not party time. Okay, now it's saving properly. Well, how do we know this? We can output it and take a look real quick. But here's the thing. Right now it's toggled. It's set by default to checked. See how it says checked right here? We're going to take that out. And then back over here, it's going to be unchecked. All right. There it is. So when this is saved in our database, because the way this guy programmed this, it's going to be, when it's on, it saves the value, the word on, into our database. And when it's off, it saves nothing. So it's going to be really easy for us to do the next thing, which is a really simple PHP determination on what we want to output. I'll show you this real quick, because I think this video is already getting pretty long too. Actually, guys, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this video right here because it's already so long and I really want to keep these closer to 10 minutes. So in the next part, what we're going to do is we're actually going to program this now that we have a main switch. We're going to go ahead and actually next time program it to change our text and our display real time so that we can show the user when their plugin is on and when it's off. And that takes a little more coding, so I kind of want to end it because it's going to take like 10 minutes on its own. So, hey, if you haven't already, subscribe, will you? And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next part where we go ahead and put all that in.